Well, hello there. Welcome to this week's edition of Bobby Degrees or Bob Degrees audio stories. And this week, there are several again to choose from, and I just want to tell you while I'm choosing that I appreciate all you guys and appreciate the fact that with all the stuff that you guys have going on, a lot of you will stop and right at 7 o'clock, which seems really crazy to me, but we'll stop right at 7 o'clock and listen to the latest edition. To me, it's pretty amazing. I might have to just quickly find one here. Just so many these days. I think I told you I write multiple times a day. And this is the one I think I want to read to you tonight. This is included in a little place that you don't ever see, or probably nobody ever saw. But I included it in, I want to say, Heroes, maybe. Or maybe the one before that. But I didn't read it. It was just a little link that I was able to get somebody else to read. But the story is so important that I think I need to tell it. So all the time I was traveling in California, and the rest of the country, it seemed like my message that I was supposed to send was love. And I did, over and over and over again. So much so, when I landed in California, a young person recorded a commercial for me, and after talking to me for, I don't know, probably an hour or two, she did the video, and she said, Bob's on a mission for love. Not for me, but for everybody. So the second day or third day I was in California, I decided to go get some hot dogs, a little good hot dog. And this is what happened. It's a story called Unforgettable. The shadows cast by the bright sun stand in contrast to the potential energy I feel today. I step out of my silver and gold Volvo and look around at a place I'm only visiting, noticing how strangely quiet it seems for a restaurant at noon on a midweek day. I've been traveling across the country and experiencing shifting attitudes, but one thing that gives me hope is there appears to be a reservoir of untapped love around each corner. Someone once said that the sky is always darkest before the dawn. The people I talk to feel like they're like an air balloon of good, and the promise of a better day is yet to come. I seem to feel things more deeply than I ever used to, and at times it's taxing on my emotional reserves. As I traveled to get here, my eyes were opened by the plight of many people in our country. I am aware that there are millions more struggling across the world. I thought to myself, how lucky am I? Or should I feel guilt for the blessings that have been bestowed upon me? I just know it was all shown to me for a reason. To open my heart and share just one thing. Love. This has been a constant theme I've shared as I've spoken with hundreds of people on this trip to talk about my book. People receive this message as if their palate is bone dry and is in need of the refreshment that love can bring. As I walked through the door of the restaurant, the white walls and the orange seating brought a smile to my face. Bright colors seemed to overshadow, excuse me, bright colors seemed to foreshadow the positive energy that I was about to experience. I was the only one in the establishment when I ordered my meal. After asking if it was always this quiet, the answer to my surprise was, just today. I was served my meal and sat down at a bench seat closest to the counter, anxious to taste my meal. I had ordered hot dogs, one of my favorites, but I rarely find them at restaurants. Again, the word love entered my mind. A conversation with my sister-in-law earlier in the day had brought it up, and it lingered in my thoughts. Just then I heard the doorbell ring as the next customer entered the establishment. I looked up to see a young man firmly holding a leash of his service dog, accompanied by another man who seemed to be his older brother or friend. They appeared to be together, and based on the conversation I overheard, When their food was ready, the young man walked straight towards me, as if drawn by a magnet. He was in his mid-20s, braces on both legs. Looking me directly in the eye, he asked, "Would you mind if I sat with you?" Would you mind if I sit with you? I said, "Absolutely not. Please, have a seat." "My name is Marco, and this is my dog Jack," he said. Jack, a light brown Labradoodle, reflected the same kindness that Marco carried in his heart. In times past, I have had the energy of the universe or God drop me in situations that are there to teach me something, a breath of wisdom to my needy soul. I was not sure what morsel of enlightenment was going to be included in this moment, but I could feel it was coming. Marco and I shook hands. He smiled at me like I was someone he had been waiting to meet, someone he was meant to find. It felt like he was eager to share something deep that I deeply needed to hear. We chatted about his great-grandmother who had lived in Alaska and how he spent the last month of her life caring for her and how much he missed her and loved her. Marco walked with difficulty due to braces on his legs, and some might say he faced other challenges as well. But the one thing was absolutely clear: he had no trouble sharing profound life lessons. This 61-year-old was hanging on his every word, while Marco's friend, a social worker, sat 3 tables away, silently giving space for Marco to work his quiet magic. As Marco spoke, he reaffirmed the real reason I had journeyed across this country. He showed me pictures of his great-grandmother and grandfather on his phone, followed by a video of his nephew cradling the newest member of their family. He beamed with pride, smiling from ear to ear. While I listened, Jack the dog nudged me for pets, never once taking his eye off of Marco. It was at that moment that everything, our conversation, my trip, seemed to come together. I looked at Marco and said, "Jack's a good dog." Marco said, "He's my best friend, and I love him." "He certainly loves you too," I said. "Do you know how to sign?" Marco asked. "No, but I've always thought of learning," I said. "I want to teach you a word." Struggling a bit to Struggling a bit but smiling, he raised his hand and extended his thumb, index finger, and pinky while folding in the rest. He says, "This means love." My being felt shaken to the core. Marco's kindness and firm grasp of the word I had used so often on my journey seemed to take on a depth of meaning that I could have never imagined. But someone did. Whether it was God, Marco, God through Marco, I am overwhelmed with not only the gratitude for this snapshot in time, but for the lessons of love and humility we should all embrace and raise our own balloon of love, spreading this message. Thank you. One never forgets the unforgettable. That was such a cool moment. Just one of many moments I get to experience. I'm grateful. I'm so thankful for the energies of the world that allowed me to experience all that I did get to experience. And that includes you. You all follow me. I'm excited by that, and I'm excited that you share it with other people. So anyways, that's my story of Marco, and true story. Nothing made up there. Nothing made up at all. So, next week, or I should say this week's Friday, as I always say, and I'm coming to you from my porch, which I spend a lot of time on once the winter goes away. And probably the next few episodes, will come from here. That was an emotional one. I understand why I didn't read it the first time. Anyways, let's all be Marco. Let's all take a moment out of our time and share love generously and kindly, and with the hope that love spreads. Wouldn't that be a cool thing? Love you all. See you next Friday. God bless.